April Love by Ernest Dowson. We have walked in love's land a little way. We have learnt in his lesson a little while. But shall we not part at the end of day with a sigh, a smile? A little while in the shine of the sun, we were twined together, joined lips, forgot how the shadows fall when the day is done and when love is not. We have made no vows, there will none be broke. Our love was free as the wind on the hill. There were no words said, we need wish unspoke. We have wrought no ill. So shall we not part at the end of day who have loved and lingered a little while? Join lips for the last time, go our way with a sigh, a smile?
Life by Edith Wharton. Life, like a marble block, is given to all. A blank, inchoate mass of years and days, whence one, with ardent chisel, swift essays some shape of strength or symmetry to call. One shatters it in bits to mend a wall. One in a craftier hand the chisel lays, and one, to wake the mirth in Lesbia's gaze, carves it apace in toys fantastical. But least is he, who, with enchanted eyes, filled with high visions of fair shapes to be, muses which god he shall immortalize in the proud Parian's perpetuity, till twilight warns him from the punctual skies that the night cometh, wherein none shall see.
The Two Boys by Mary Lamb. I saw a boy with eager eye open a book upon a stall and read as he'd devour it all. Which when the stallman did espy, soon to the boy I heard him call, "You, sir, you never buy a book, therefore in one you shall not look." The boy passed slowly on, and with a sigh, he wished he never had been taught to read. Then of the old churl's books he should have had no need. Of sufferings the poor have many, which never can the rich annoy. I soon perceived another boy, who looked as if he'd not had any food for that day. At least enjoy the sight of cold meat in a tavern larder. This boy's case, thought I, is surely harder. Thus hungry longing, thus without a penny, beholding choice of dainty dressed meat. No wonder if he wish he ne'er had learned to eat.
Mr. Darcy by Victoria Chang. In the end, she just wanted the house and a horse, not much more. What if he didn't own the house? Or worse, not even a horse? How do we separate the things from a man, the man from the things? Is a man still the same without his reins? Here, it rains every 15 minutes. It would be foolish to marry a man without an umbrella. Did Cinderella really love the prince? Or just the prince on the curtains in the ballroom? Once I went window shopping, but I didn't want a window. When do you know it's time to get a new man, one who can win more things at the fair? I already have 4 stuffed pandas from the fair I won fair and square. Is it time to be less square? To wear something more revealing? In North and South, she does the dealing, gives him the money in the end. But she falls in love with him when he has the money, when he is still running away. If the water is running in the other room, is it wrong for me to not want to chase it because it owns nothing else? When I wave to a man, I love what happens when another man with a lot more bags waves back.
Amor Mandi by Christina Rossetti. Oh, where are you going with your love locks flowing on the west wind blowing along this valley track? The downhill path is easy. Come with me and it please ye. We shall escape the uphill by never turning back. So they two went together in glowing August weather. The honey-breathing heather lay to their left and right, and dear she was to dote on. Her swift feet seemed to float on the air like soft twin pigeons, too sportive to alight. Oh, what is that in heaven, where gray cloud flakes are seven, where blackest clouds hang riven just at the rainy skirt? Oh, that's a meteor sent us, a message dumb, portentous, an undeciphered solemn signal of help or hurt. Oh, what is that glides quickly, where velvet flowers grow thickly, their scent comes rich and sickly? A scaled and hooded worm. Oh, what is that in the hollow, so pale I quake to follow? Oh, that's a thin, dead body, which waits the eternal term. Turn again, O my sweetest, turn again, false and fleetest. This beaten way thou beatest, I fear's hell's own track. Nay, too steep for hill mounting, nay, too late for cost counting. This downhill path is easy, but there is no turning back.
I Heard a Fly Buzz When I Died by Emily Dickinson. I heard a fly buzz when I died. The stillness in the room was like the stillness in the air between the heaves of storm. The eyes around had wrung them dry, and breaths were gathering firm for that last onset when the king be witnessed in the room. I willed my keepsakes, signed away what portion of me be assignable, and then it was there interposed a fly, with blue, uncertain, stumbling buzz between the light and me. And then the windows failed, and then I could not see to see.
Self-Portrait with Sylvia Plath's Braid by Diane Seuss. Some women make a pilgrimage to visit it. In the Indiana Library, charged to keep it safe. I didn't drive to it. I dreamed it. The thick braid roped over my hands, heavier than lead. For years, my own hair was long for years. Then I became obsessed with chopping it off. And I did, clear up to my ears. If hair is beauty, then I am no longer beautiful. Sylvia was beautiful, wasn't she? And like all of us, didn't she wield her beauty like a weapon? And then she married and laid it down. And when she was betrayed and took it up again, it was a word weapon, a poem sword. In the dream, I fasten her hair to my own at my nape. I walk outside with it, through the world of men, swinging it behind me like a tail.
Water of the Womb by Tiana Bratcher. It is winter in Anchorage, and I am only as tall as the shoveled snowbanks in the parking lot of the pink apartments. I am old enough to have chores, but young enough not to fully understand frostbite. It is not my turn to take out the trash. I'd like to think I was persuaded with hot chocolate or choosing the movie for the evening, but I'm sure it was just force that made me put my bare feet on the icy asphalt. I waddle to the dumpster with the bag that almost weighs as much as me. The slow burn of the ice threatens to peel the skin from my pinky toes with each step. I'm told I'm not old enough to tell my elders no. My small voice is frozen on the roof of my mouth anyway, so I continue trudging. I don't remember getting rid of the bag or making it back upstairs, just a face in the mirror while Mom ran warm water over my feet in the sink. It is desolate, disinterested in my ability to walk. I'd like to say we were just kids, doing kid things. But I remember you had shoes on.
Acquainted with the Night by Robert Frost. I have been one acquainted with the night. I have walked out in rain and back in rain. I have outwalked the furthest city light. I have looked down the saddest city lane. I have passed by the watchman on his beat and dropped my eyes unwilling to explain. I have stood still and stopped the sound of feet when far away an interrupted cry came over houses from another street. But not to call me back or say goodbye. And further still, at an unearthly height, one luminary clock against the sky proclaimed the time was neither wrong nor right. I have been one acquainted with the night.
Discrimination by Kenneth Rexroth. I don't mind the human race. I've got pretty used to them in these past 25 years. I don't mind if they sit next to me on streetcars or eat in the same restaurants, if it's not at the same table. However, I don't approve of a woman I respect dancing with one of them. I've tried asking them to my home without success. I shouldn't care to see my own sister marry one, even if she loved him. Think of the children. Their art is interesting, but certainly barbarous. I'm sure if given a chance, they'd kill us all in our beds. And you must admit, they smell.
Mrs. Caldera's House of Things by Gregory Janikian. You are sitting in Mrs. Caldera's kitchen. You are sipping a glass of lemonade and trying not to be too curious about the box of plastic hummingbirds behind you, the tray of tineless forks at your elbow. You have heard about the back room where no one else has ever gone, and whatever enters remains. Refrigerator doors, fused coils, mower blades, milk bottles, pistons, gears. You never know, she says, rummaging through a cedar chest of recipes, when something will come of use. There is a vase of pencil tips on the table, a bowl full of miniature wheels and axles. Upstairs, where her children slept, the doors will not close. The stacks of magazines are burgeoning. There are snowshoes and lampshades, bed springs and picture tubes, and boxes of irreducibles. You imagine the headline in the Literalist Express, "House Founders Under Weight of Past." But Mrs. Caldera is baking cookies. She is humming a song from childhood. Her arms are heavy and strong. They have held babies, a husband, tractor parts, and gas tanks. What have they not found a place for? It is getting dark. You have sat for a long time. If you move, you feel something will be disturbed. There is room enough only for your body. Stay a while, Mrs. Caldera says, and never have you felt so valuable.
Bug Psalm by Rodney Konecki. The Bug Psalm, don't get crushed. After lives feel meaningless, but spring will come. Push out the nubs the kids braid into pallets. Take up your pallets from lawns, noons hardly touched. The small think gods just loll on clouds. Bugs think gods just crush.
Watching the Perseids by Isabel Rogers. The parrot, Einstein of birds, who can count and reason calmly in our tongue while outliving us, disdains the ostrich. For all its sprint records, the ostrich will be remembered for hiding from the truth. You can't outrun stupid. We, the people, hold some truths to be self-evident. Our magnificent brain, in a body that can't flee, can't smell fear, can't hear death, can't see straight. Even so, our retinas, with rods and cones as intricate as any telescope array, evolved to see a predator slide out of oblique shadow and give us time to bolt. We survey our closed dominion until we look up in August to find comet dust flaring in the night. This vastness, this vertiginous awareness, mocking gravity on our speck of now, wakes us with a recalibrating jolt. But soon our familiar star will claw toward us in 7-league boots from the east, drawing its valium thread across our planet as if to cloak a birdcage, to muffle questions that blink through dark matter and would pour over us until we drowned, dreaming of amnesia.
Where the Wild Things Go by D. Gilson. The night Max wore his wolf suit made him infamous. Bred the child star never sent to bed. Middle school, Max started drinking. Not in my house, his mother begged. No, 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 wild thing. Max reminded her who bought this condo, who paid for her meds. Freshman year, Max raved, roared his terrible roar, rolled and almost wound up in a warehouse, dead. Where, oh, where did the wild things go? To rehab, in high school, to college on residual book sales. Max kept his head down, laughed at drunken frat boys. Bro, let the wild rumpus start! Max said, no thanks, and volunteered for the Peace Corps instead. 2 years in Kenya, 1 in Belarus. The president thought Max might be of some use. Max moved to Washington, appointed at the State Department a cultural attaché. One important day, Max wore his wolf gray suit, then drove home well past rush hour in a freak snowstorm. Max drove on the deserted beltway. Thought it his throne. Yes, Max belted. This is where the wild things roam.
There Are No Kings in America by Aline Casanetto. We are not that kind of country. We are sanctuary for the hungry, the homeless, the huddled. Held together by an idea our immigrant fathers believed in. Rendered, it meant independence. Pursued, it kindled war, ordinance, a fighting chance. 40,000 musket balls by themselves did not shape the boundaries on which we map our days. To draw our borders, we needed more than fire cakes, more than a pound of meat with bone and gristle, or saltfish and a pill of geese. We needed the faith and grit of people who were not yet Americans. To be an American is to understand the weft of tent cities, expecting caravans, or sitting before a judge awaiting judgment. What do we say to the native whose lands we now inhabit? What do we say to our immigrant fathers who held certain truths to be self-evident? Do we now still pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, our sacred honor? There are no kings in America. Only gilded men we can topple again and again.
Now, as I said earlier, the hardest part about this is that we have to choose a winner. As far as I'm concerned, all winners. Without further ado, I will present to our county champion the check for $150 and the certificate of winning to J.F. Orfiano. And second place goes to Natalie Harris. And of course, for the others, a certificate of participation because you have done such a wonderful job in this. So I want to thank all of you for coming. I want to thank the kids again, who I think were just terrific this year. I hope that you will, as a community, continue to support this program, encourage young people you know to participate in it, and come back next year when we will have another group of lovely young people. Thank you again for coming.